I'm Shane McCollum with Mac Green Media LLC. Today we're going to talk about Forging Your Foundation, a short documentary to help you understand that failure is actually a good thing. It's not a bad thing, it's a stepping stone for you to be successful in life. I will help educate you as a guide. I am not the host of this show. The host of this show is a 15-year-old young lady by the name of Victoria Santiago, who is a female quarterback for the flag football female team at Rancho High School. She will embark on this journey that will take her through an epic adventure of what it means to truly understand what failure means and how not to fear it. And at the same time, during her journey, she will meet other people to help her guide through her journey to take her on this wild adventure. So let's all be bold and heed to the battle cry of attack. And let's join her for this adventure.
My name is Victoria Santiago. I'm 13 years old, and I'm going to be hosting the show.
Who's been struggling through all these different things of realities. The best thing about it is, Forging Your Foundation helps you understand how important it is to build a house on stone versus a house on sand. Because we all know, if you build a house on sand, the first time it rains, it's going to wash away. But if you have a house built on stone, it will never fail. Why? Because it's a solid foundation. In order to find clarity and build a strong, successful future, the foundation has to be 100 times stronger to support anything that is built on top. The future has to be so clear you can see anything that is thrown at you by life before it's even thrown. You can't be afraid, all right? You just can't be afraid of failure. Failure is an opportunity to identify a weakness in your foundation that's been weakened. Take that opportunity to forge that weakness into a strength so that way you'll have a better support for your future and a stronger, solid foundation. All right. Now, the subject of forging your foundation is a little typical and scary for a lot of people because it talks about failure. Now, we're going to help clear the air to let you know how failure is not a bad thing, but a good thing. It's a stepping stone for you to ensure your success for the future. So as you step through failure, you're finding and identifying your weaknesses. So this way, you can fix your strengths. But to take the opportunity to understand how to reforge yourself into a stronger self-person by knowing your self-worth, by knowing that you have to face the fires of your own forge. You'll be able to reforge yourself by the way you think that weakness is actually a strength and is used for a stepping stone into your success. What are some of the experiences that you faced last year versus this year that you found it easier because of what you went through and you were able to understand failure better?
Last year, I let people's negativity get to me and everything. And this year, I'm not letting that happen. And I'm just keeping to myself and the people that I care about the most.
To shine away the shadows that haunt that embarking of gaining the power required, the power to wield your hammer of your forge shall take the shortcomings of the abyss of the weakness, turn that abyss into the re-embrace of the self-worth of knowing what your self-worth is. With that, the new strength that you gain, you will set that fear free of failure, free to embark on one brighter adventure of a solid foundation to stand on, proud and clear path to walk with all the support. How can you fail with that? Now, the only thing you should fear about failure is yourself. Now ask yourself, what is fear? Alright, now let's look at the word fear itself, and I'll explain how to you it's actually a lie. Word fear, starting with F. Alright, false, which means it's opposite of the truth, therefore it must be a lie. Okay? Then we have E, emotions. Emotions controllable. It's hard at times, but we can learn to control our emotions. Then we have A, the appearance, the falseness of the reality, which gives the fear the control of the power of the appearance of reality appearing falsely. Now, of course, we have the letter R, realism. That is what the fear controls us through by the appearance of the emotions tied into the reality that we see through our eyes based off the fear that's controlled through our brains. So if we can control fear, what is there to fear about failure? All right, who are you? What's your name?
Alex.
And who's your daddy? I am. All right, how old are you?
7.
7 years old? Wow. Now get this, guys. What do you do with the mistake?
Fix it.
And if you don't fix it, what happens? Why? Is it a problem? Are we supposed to keep fixing problems or fix it to where we don't have a problem? To where we, what? Don't have one, right?
Right.
That's right. Thumbs? Alright. 7 years old, it already knows a mistake is just a mistake. You can't get in trouble if you make one mistake. But if you get two, what did he say? What happens? But what do you do the first time? I went backwards and he still knows, and he's 7. So if my son that's 7 can get it, come here, buddy, give me hugs and kisses. I love you, buddy. So see, if a 7-year-old who's been around me for 7 years is understanding this, she's 15 and she's wild about it, but when we started, she already knew what it meant to face failure. All it is, I helped her understand a better way of looking at it. In order to face battle, one must have a battle cry. My battle cry is attack. Oh my gosh, Mommy, he can't spell, he's gonna go back to school. The reason why I spell it ATAK is for the simple fact it's an acronym. And what it stands for is accomplishing transcends above knowledge. Without gaining the knowledge, one cannot rise above the needed skills to transcend into accomplishing the challenges. It's a powerful message, and I am 41, but it's important nowadays for the youth of our generation, the leaders of tomorrow, to actually understand what I'm trying to portray. The message I'm saying, I've been telling for almost 15 years, as when I started as an instructor for the Culinary Academy here back in Las Vegas. Blooper wheels! Couldn't believe that! Woo! Anyways, alright. Now, I have every reason to walk away just as much as any other person. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about why it's important about forging your foundation, because I myself am embarking on this journey. Okay, now, I'm going to be honest with you guys about something. I have every reason just to give up. I have every reason just as much as the next person. Now, in 2017, my father, Gary Lee McCone, passed away. It was a horrible event that shocked our family, the day my father passed away. On that day at 5:30 p.m., I got a phone call from my brother, Robin Jojo McComb, also known as Matt Green, that the hospital had called him and our father had passed away. We weren't hurt deeply, we were sad deeply, but we all knew that my dad was in a better place from being years of sick and his travel and tribulations of things. But the things in the life that he led were completely, truly amazing stories. November of the same year of 2017, I started a business called All Pot Out Dog Care Service. Walking dogs, stuff like that as well. January of that year, I was working for another company while I was still trying to start my business up. I started to get ill. February, I ended up in the ER. I came home with upper respiratory infection. They sent me on my way. June of that year, I went back to the ER by the 3rd time now. But this time, they prepped me for appendicitis and everything, to take out my appendix and all that stuff. They did the CT scanning. Oh, they found out everything was fine. Must be upper respiratory infection or something that we can't identify. Sent me on my way home. I'm getting sicker. I'm getting violently ill more. Now it comes to October 9th. They want to do exploratory surgery on me to understand why my stress of my liver and my kidneys failing to properly function, so that way they can have an idea of putting me on a final treatment of some kind after I've taken all these different type of medications. The list is too long to talk about. October 12th, I go over to my brother's house, only due to the fact that he came up missing and nobody was able to get hold of him or his girlfriend, who was my sister Melissa Mason. Only to be discovered as I'm hopping the wall, I look into the back window and I find them both murdered. As shocking as that was to our family, that gave me every right to give up, but I still pushed on. January of 2019, I started Matt Green Media in memory of my brother and my sister. But as you can see, my illness has actually got worse, to the point that I have an inflammation so severely bad that it ripped a hole in my stomach. It turned itself out to plug the hole. They put me on a medication for an anti-inflammatory for a full year. But finally, thank you to my beautiful, wonderful niece, Alicia. She was actually able to get me to a real doctor who actually cared enough to actually speed up the process to put me on the right track of healing. So I have every right to give up. I have every reason to walk away. But I'm going to sit there and I'm going to fight. I'm going to attack. I'm going to accomplish transcends above the knowledge. I am going to call everyone out to do the same. Whenever you have a hard time in life, reforge your foundation. Find your weaknesses. Make it stronger. Just like as if you're walking down the street and you see a chain link fence broken, you go to that person's house, let that person know that their fence is broken. A week later, you go back. You see that fence is repaired, but now it looks stronger, like it could take on anything. That's what it means to reforge your foundation. Even though that link failed, it was repaired and made stronger, just as the same we can do for ourselves. Want to take us out, or?
Stay tuned for another episode of Forging Your Foundation. On our next episode, we're gonna be talking to Angie Moore, who's a paramedic and a lifesaver herself.